It is Fox Mulder's funeral. His good friends and work colleagues are all there. His body was found a week earlier after he went missing for months, presumed abducted by aliens or nefarious government agents. Dana Scully is especially saddened by his passing. She says to Skinner she cannot believe he is dead. He was the last. All others in his family are gone too. Mulder never knew about the baby she is carrying, and although she never revealed who the father is, everybody presumes it was Mulder. She crumples some dirt onto his coffin and cries on Skinner's shoulder. Doggett is a complete non-believer. He is just an FBI agent hired to find Mulder and investigate who abducted him. Since Dana Scully is pregnant, she will take maternity leave in 6 weeks, and then the X-Files will be closed forever. Doggett has been offered a transfer and promotion now that the Mulder mystery is solved, but decides to stay on because his curiosity is piqued with all the mysterious things going on. Floater is recovered by a fishing boat in the ocean. It is Billy Miles, who has been missing for 6 months now. At Billy's autopsy, he begins to move. Billy is revived and placed in intensive care. Skinner calls Doggett, telling him to meet at the graveyard to exhume Mulder. Doggett objects to reopening the grave since it's been 3 months since they found his body, and even then it was in bad condition. Doggett states that giving Scully any hope will only make her grief last longer. At the morgue, reporters are already there since it's a sensational story. Skinner has called in a special FBI medical examiner, but no one is expecting anything but a corpse. They even joke about it by starting rumors about the curse of the mummy. They transfer the decomposing Mulder to the hospital and also place him in intensive care. Scully arrives and begs to see him, but he is in bad shape. The doctors say he is officially dead, with his organs and nerve tissue showing months of decomposition. When she sees Mulder on life support, she lays her head on his chest and hugs him. Scully also goes to see Billy, hooked up to all the monitors. He too looks like he's in advanced stages of decay. Suddenly, Billy goes into convulsions and 2 heartbeats appear on the monitor. Then the seizure stops and things go back to normal. As Skinner is walking toward the elevator, he suddenly collapses. Soon after, he's in intense pain as his veins begin to stick out. The elevator opens and the Russian Krycek, an enemy of the X-Files who is working for the smoking man, is there with a modified taser. When he presses a button, he controls Skinner through intense pain. Krycek wants to talk, but Skinner refuses until he's tased again and knows Krycek can control him with the nanobots they injected into his bloodstream, which are controlled by this instrument. It's like an electric collar on a dog, only worse. Krycek says he wants to give Skinner the chance to save Mulder. He says he has a type of vaccine that, if given to Mulder, will revive him back to normal. It is Mulder's only hope before the virus completely takes over his body. Late at night, in the hospital, Billy Miles opens his eyes and disconnects from the monitors. He takes a long shower wherein his skin and tissue slough off, revealing a clean, healthy body of Billy underneath. Essentially, he is cured and back to normal. Scully has been spending much of her time in the hospital at Mulder's bedside. Doggett says she is just making it harder to overcome because Mulder can never return to normal. Scully scolds him for trying to prevent the exhuming of Mulder's grave and tells Doggett she will never trust him. The nurse discovers Billy Miles out of his bed and wandering around the hospital. She alerts Scully about it and they go to interview Billy. Billy doesn't remember what happened to him. He says he does remember being on a ship. Scully corrects him by saying spacecraft, and he goes on to say they abducted so many people, now he understands. It is because the aliens are there to save them. This is completely unlike Billy. They know he is not the same. Doggett rejects the possibility that Billy was abducted by friendly aliens, and Scully tells him maybe he should be off the case since he is too high level to investigate the paranormal. Later, she is examining Billy's x-rays, MRI, and blood tests. Skinner walks in, excited about the good news, but Scully tells him not to be. All tests on Billy show he is in the optimum health without a single thing wrong with him. That is impossible, and Scully theorizes it is not Billy. Since she saw the 2 heartbeats, she believes an alien life form used his body. Now he shed his skin and literally became a new person. Skinner asks what the chances are that this could be due to an alien influence, not a creature, but a virus that simply transformed all the DNA of Billy's cells. The virus infected them one by one, taking over his mind and soul while using his body for raw materials. The other missing persons who were believed to be abducted were found. At first, they all appeared to be dead, then suddenly they were alive. Absalom says he used biblical verses to resurrect those people. If he did not save them, they may have turned into aliens who planned to take over the earth. Upon talking to Absalom, Doggett believes he's just a lunatic making up stories. And he's a bit egocentric and weird, too. Skinner checks on Mulder at the hospital while Krycek is waiting for him. Skinner says he needs the vaccine. Krycek responds he can have it as long as he makes sure Scully's baby never comes to term. Skinner says he will never do anything to hurt Scully, or Mulder for that matter. Doggett meets Scully, who informs him of Mulder's condition. She tells him she is going to prepare Mulder for the vaccine. She obviously doesn't know about Skinner's ultimatum. Doggett sees Skinner enter Mulder's room and lock the door. He busts it down to find Skinner disconnecting all of Mulder's life support mechanisms. The two fight. Skinner confides in him that he doesn't want Scully or him to have to make that choice, and he doesn't trust Krycek. He is letting Mulder die naturally or gain immunity to the virus. Krycek is waiting in the garage to give Skinner the vaccine, but instead, Doggett shows up. Krycek tries to drive away, but Doggett jumps through his window and tries to force the car to a stop. But after smashing up everyone's car in the lot, Krycek gets away. However, he returns to tease him and gets out of the car. He asks if Doggett was trying to get this vaccine, then drops it on the ground, destroying its contents. Doggett gives Skinner the bad news and says Krycek wasn't to be trusted anyway. Mulder is ready to receive the vaccine in the OR. Scully comes over, thinking Doggett has it to give to her. But before Doggett can tell her the bad news, she says that since Skinner pulled Mulder off life support, his body started combating the virus on its own. They unknowingly were hastening the reproduction of the virus by giving it oxygen and sustenance. By disconnecting all that, the virus cannot incubate, and Mulder's cells are slowly healing back to normal. Scully says with a course of antiviral medications and keeping his temperature low, he may make a full recovery without any vaccine. A few days later, Mulder wakes up, and Scully is right there at his bedside. The first thing he says is, "Who are you?" Scully is saddened that he's not the same and doesn't remember her. Then he smiles because he is just kidding her. She laughs and then begins to cry. It is the first time they've been together in half a year. He doesn't yet know about the baby or anything else they've discovered. He asks if anyone missed him, and Scully just hugs him like she never wants to let go. Doggett comes in to share the news